It's treason, then. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Xaereth Prevails. Guys, we have the road ahead to talk about, and there's a lot of emotion going on right now, both in the community and in myself. You're going to have a hard time finding someone who cares more about the announcements that CG has made about what's going to happen in the future. They're going to be making some balancing tweaks, which, in general, I don't know, I trust them. But they're taking away some of these counters that I've worked so hard on. I feel like Gandalf's like 300 lives of men have I walked this earth, and now I have no time. And I'm like 300 lives of men. I have perfected the Vader versus Rey counter, and now I have no time. It's just basically what I'm saying is I'm Gandalf. See, I've secretly been Gandalf this whole time, and you guys didn't know. It's time for that reveal. No, I don't know where I get these things, but that being said, folks, oh man, I feel really strongly about this, and let's start going through this thing by thing. We're going to talk about the cursed Relic 9. We're going to talk about the changes in balance. We're going to talk about these new requirements for the new releases. And it'll be a good time. I don't have a time frame on how fast or slow this video is going to be. Hopefully it doesn't end up like 7 hours. But if it's 7 hours, then good for me, because, well, that would be impressive. I'm not even mad. You guys would be. You're like, really? 7 hours, Xaereth? Yeah, even my mom would be like, I don't want to hear you talk that long. That's ridiculous. All right. So let's start off with something cool. Before even we talk about the cool new the releases, they did a video, guys. They did a video, and if you haven't watched it, it does present some different information in the road ahead than in the actual like post here. And I think that that's actually a good sign in some ways, that they have two different like versions and they don't have all the information, because it means that they haven't been exhaustive in their communication. Now, I like this communication, and I like that they're trying a new thing. Their video is cool. It's not, you can tell they're a little bit new to it. I mean, even as it's like better than any of the videos I do, they, you know, for a $1 billion company, they, you know, they have steps to take to get better, and I'm sure that they will. And that being said, like, it was a cool thing. You guys should check it out. I think it's going to be good. I think that's where they talked about Relic 9, actually. So we'll talk about Relic 9, talk about all this other stuff. So anyways, mostly we're just going to go through the text thing, and then I'll add insights from the video that I saw and everything. So the first thing they announce is we have the Executor, or other people like to call it the Executor. And I'd be interested to hear what you guys have to say about how you pronounce it. I grew up calling it the Executor, because what does Vader do? Like, that's his ship. It's his capital ship. He's not like, let's make it a legal term. He's like, no, if you piss me off, I'm going to execute you. Like, either whether internal or external, like, it doesn't matter. It's an executor. And I don't know, Executor, that's how they pronounce it in the video. It rubs me the wrong way. So I'm going to call it Executor here. So it's going to be a journey guide fleet mastery, I think. I don't know if it'll be in the journey guide for long term, if it's just going to immediately appear there or not. But like maybe we'll have an unlock window of 2 weeks or whatever, and then it'll go away, like the Jedi Knight Luke mission or whatever, the event. Or maybe it'll just be there permanently, and once you get all of the requirements, you can just go unlock it. If you get them all those requirements, right now you can get it in 2 months, in 3 weeks, whatever. That's what my guess is that it'll just live in the journey guide. And so what they said in the video, it doesn't say it on here, but this is going to be something, I mean, they imply it here. This is going to be something for bounty hunters. I don't know if it'll have the bounty hunter tag or not, but look at all these bounty hunter ships and things. Now, It's a lot of relics. This is a lot of. No one wanted a Relic 8 Admiral Piet. I mean, Admiral Piet wanted it because he's a selfish a-hole, but like none of us actually thinks he needs it. So, I mean, it does cost a lot. Vader Relic 7 is fine. Boba was actually on my list for Relic 8 anyways, just because he does so many crazy things to other characters while he's in Relic 8. A TIE Fighter pilot, that one's going to be owie for a lot of people, but man, he's actually pretty good at Relic 5, and his ship starts dodging like crazy. That actually makes me really sad. We're going to start seeing a lot more RNG on some of our fleet fights in GAC. Bosk, IG, and Dengar. People point out, why Dengar? He doesn't have a ship, and so CG showed the scene on the Executor where Piet leans down in episode 5, and he's like, "We don't need their scum, they're bounty hunters," and Bosk stares him down. It's an epic moment of like, oh cool, Bosk actually kind of got some dialogue, but that's like the only time we even see him hardly. But Dengar is there on the ship with IG-88 and Bosk and other bounty hunters like Zuckuss and Forlom who are not in the game. I would love it if this is just like a tiny hint that we're going to be getting a Dengar ship, the punishing one. That would be super awesome. I have no idea, though. It would be neat. Dengar at Relic 5 isn't bad anyways. I don't know. I never wanted to put relics on him, on my alt or anything. My main has him just recently. There are worse ones to Relic, like IG-88, but his ship is actually quite good with relics. Van Seal told me so. So, anyways... Razor Crest, though, so it's looking, at first, they updated it. At first, it was looking, they didn't add the 7 stars to complete. They just had the 4 stars, 4 stars, 5 stars stuff. I think this is what it takes to start the fight, and then if you want to actually unlock it at 7 stars, you have to have them all at 7 stars. So I have my Razor Crest at 7 stars for no reason now. There's kind of a reason. Yeah. Okay, so I'll just say this. People are going to be mad that it's not Hondo's ship. I always thought that his little flying saucer was super dumb. That's not a capital ship. It's just like, it's a little flying saucer. Like, if they put it in the game, make it a starfighter. Like a big starfighter, like some of these other big-ish ships, but don't make it a capital ship. If we get Hondo in the game, great. You can even make him a bounty hunter, even though he's not really that, but I'd be fine with it. This is fine, though. This is totally fine. I like the direction they went. People complaining that it's an Empire ship. It's not really. If it doesn't have the Empire tag, it'll be stupid. But it'll be bounty hunter ship. For the bounty hunter ships that we don't really use unless we're eccentrics, like I said, like Van Seal. Some of them we use. But I've even stopped using Houndstooth a lot. So this is a welcome thing. It costs a lot of gear. People are going to complain about the gear, and all I have to say about that is this is going to be a transcendent ship. It's going to be the top of the meta. It's going to be amazing, is my guess. And once you get ships, guys, all it takes to level them are ship materials, right? And like ship credits, it doesn't cost gear. Consider this as like a journey or a character that you unlock in the journey guide, and then you have to put a bunch of gear on them that you didn't want to put on them, or characters that you have to gear in order to unlock them. That's what this is. I mean, it's just the ship version of it, because once you unlock it, all it takes is ship credits. So, I don't know. I don't have issues with this. Relic 8 on Piet does make me sad, though. It feels like a waste. Alright, so new character announced. Maul in Conquest. Robot Legs Maul is coming. And I totally called it a couple days ago. Just want to throw it out there, guys. I was totally right. They announced Maul. They announced Lord Vader as the new galactic legend. And yeah, I called it. I'm reluctant to be happy about Lord Vader, because what did he do? Like his like one day of having limbs was filled with like killing children, force choking his wife, losing the one hard fight he had, slaughtering leaders who trusted him, cutting off the hand of someone who trusted him. Like, it's not a great resume. You read that and you're like, no, he's not a legend. Like, maybe like in the way of serial killers, a legend. You know, Lord Vader, disappointing, but also more iconic and known to people than Maul is. Maul, Robot Legs Maul, is a really cool character. I'm fine with this. I think it'll be very interesting to see how Desufu Maul is going to be. Darkseid, unaligned Force user Maul is going to be. Hopefully he has a scoundrel tag. It would be really sad if he didn't, because he is in charge of the criminal syndicates. In the video, it also mentions that Maul has the Mandalorian tag. He will have the Mando tag. So we'll maybe have some really pretty cool comps with Maul as a Mando. We'll see. The Galactic Legend, Lord Vader, I mean, everyone's been anticipating it. That's the #1 pick people have had. People are angry because Hunter, Tech, and Wrecker are all required here at Relic 5, and they take so many Kairos. All I have to say, guys, is, yeah, I understand why you can be frustrated by this, but that team is really good, and if you didn't think they would be a requirement, I think you're a little crazy. Like, I love you, but you're crazy. They're the latest marquees. They're toughest to get. That's how it's always been. I would fully expect Echo, maybe even Omega. People say, well, he never met Omega. #1, we don't know that. We don't know that he never came across Omega, as Vader or something later down the line. Also, it doesn't have to be narrative driven. Like, Luke never met Chupio at any point. Like, he was kind of in the same building as him, but that's about as close as he gets. Like, we have no knowledge of him interacting with Mon Mothma at any point, and yet Jedi Master Luke has Chupio and Mon Mothma as requirements, not because it's narrative driven, but because they were the latest marquees to be released that kind of like made a quasi kind of sense. And so if you thought that these guys weren't on there, you've been deluding yourself. Yes, all those Kairos aren't fun to farm, but this makes sense. This is very much in keeping with the rest of them. I'll probably do another video on what to expect from Vader and Maul later, just speculation, but we're doing a reaction about the road ahead, overall. I'm glad, though, that we finally know like the kind of the direction we're going, like Maul and Lord Vader. Cool. Like, we're finally getting some dark side characters again. It's been light side a lot lately. Not that I dislike the light side, of course, but all right. So let's talk about this one, guys. Whew. This one's rough for me. It is super rough. Okay, so I want to change some stuff. So first, they make the right point. I'll just start off by saying this is absolutely true. Defense has been completely just tossed to the side. No one cares about defense. Like, it just doesn't matter anymore because because all of these different good characters are just ignoring defense, and so they want to make defense great again. Great. That's cool. They want to have it actually be a relevant stat. I actually like that. And then they said they want to make it so that some of these counters against different Galactic Legends are not, like, they want to make Galactic Legends a lot better. So they took away a ton of different things, and the team that they really targeted the most is like Vader versus Rey. Like, they nerfed it in 3 different ways. So we have okay, but let's go the negative route, because that's the thing on everyone's mind. But then we are going to talk about some positive stuff too on it. All right, guys. So the big thing is they reduced the damage multiplier on all tiers of Culling Blade by 40%. So yeah, that's gone. He can't cull Rey to death now. I mean, actually, I think that if it's just by 40%, that would be fine. Like, he would maybe still be able to do it, but then you take into account the fact that they're taking away, where is it? They're taking away Wat Tambor's ignore defense piece of his weapons tech. So So that means Vader can't, well, basically won't benefit from Watt. He'll gain a little turn meter from Watt, like he'll be able to go into Merciless Massacre. He just won't do any damage, basically, or not nearly as much. And then, and maybe I've missed it a few times scrolling up and down here, but another one is Thrawn. They're taking, oh, here we go. So Thrawn, Fracture on raid bosses and Galactic Legends. So Fracture will still impact Galactic Legends some, but it'll act like a raid boss, you know, like where he's like, don't worry guys, I'll hold the Rancor. And then the Rancor like hits everyone and kills everyone. He's like, just kidding. Like, I didn't actually have him. I just had a percentage of him. I just slowed him down. That's how it's going to be against Galactic Legends. So we don't have Thrawn Fracture that works. We don't have a... we don't have Watt to give extra damage to Vader, and we don't have Vader who's doing more damage. That kills that counter, 100%. That one's gone. And Vader, frankly, I mean, Vader could kill every single Galactic Legend besides Kenobi under the right circumstances. And so, I don't know. It makes me sad because you guys, if you watch my streams, I use Vader a lot. I use him a ton, all the time. But he's also, guys, so he's better on his basic. He's doing damage multiplier. We don't really have to worry about crit chance anymore because he's getting a bunch of boosts there. He's also healing himself in GAC. Like every time a dot expires, it heals his protection, which is nice. Like that's nice. He's health healing, like he can solo things now and still get decent banners. Well, if he's soloing things, he's still getting decent banners or he's dead. But, you know, it's one extra nice thing for GAC. If you ask me to be happy about this, you're gonna have to, you're gonna be unreasonable in that. Like my buddy Solo Base is like, what? It doesn't matter. And I'm like, you never used this counter. You didn't spend hundreds of hours doing it. You did like planning it, trying to figure out how to do it, like the strategy, making sure my mods are right, and doing it on stream. This is a big loss for me. And just because it's not for other people, it is a big loss for me. That being said, folks, this sucks. And like I said before, it'd be hard to find someone who is impacted more by this than me, someone who it hits harder. I'm going to say this. CG has done some things in this game that have seemed really, really bad for the game. And this is one of those. At first glance, I absolutely agree. This seems like it's just going to be awful. Like, the depth of the game is going to be shortened, or is going to be threatened, I guess. Like, if we don't have off-meta counters, then what can we do? Like, I live in the off-meta. That's where I reside. That's, I put 4 Galactic Legends on defense and can still clear 4 or 5 Galactic Legends because of my planning and the off-meta stuff. And so I guess the real question, guys, isn't it like... It's not like, is this bad short term? Of course, it feels devastating short term. I do think, though, guys, I think that we're going to enter into a stage pretty soon where, so they, like, it seems like people they just want Galactic Legend versus Galactic Legend. I guess we're not, and that's boring to me, frankly. That is super boring. Why do we need to do that? Like, some of that, yes. Some of that's necessary, but we're missing depth. But the question is, are they actually declaring war on off-meta counters, or are they declaring war on specific characters who are kind of just overpowered for what they do, for what their place in the game is? Like, the fact that Thrawn can just shut down a Galactic Legend for, I don't know, turns and turns, and like Vader can take like six turns sometimes, well, not even counting Merciless Massacre, before Rey even like breaks free of Fracture, like, or even more. It's crazy how impactful Thrawn can be and just totally shut down a Galactic Legend. I mean, it's been 4.5 years. Maybe we need a rebalance. CG has all of the tools, not that we want to admit it, but they have way better analytics. How many times have we just been like, CG, that was awful. That was so dumb of you. And then it turned out to actually be pretty smart. That's happened. People in my stream yesterday were saying like, man, after 5 years of trusting or of dealing with CG, I have no hope. And I'm like, okay, I don't know what your experiences are. I don't know what they are, but I've been playing for 4.5 years, and the game up until just this moment, this moment being like the announcement of this road ahead, the game has never been in a place that's better, in my opinion. Like, they've guided the ship pretty well, in my opinion. I've been enjoying it a lot, and maybe they'll get it wrong. They could absolutely this could actually be a huge blunder. I'm not sure, but I think I'm willing to let them try. Let's hear them out. Now, in that vein, guys, Crumb will be appearing. CG Crumb, the developer, he will be appearing on my podcast in a couple days on Monday. Let's see, Monday, July 26th at approximately 10:30 p.m. Eastern time. So, it might be a little bit later, but so go search. It's in the video description, guys, on Twitch. Come watch live. We're going to be asking him questions. This impacts the competitive community more than it impacts other communities. So, come hang out with us. See what his responses are. Let's hear him out. Let's see how it goes. Is it really declaring war against off-meta counters or just declaring war against specific interactions? We need to find that out. And here's the thing. If it's not, if it's just like, well, okay, if you have a galactic legend, then you can't, or that's the only way you can beat another galactic legend. That is vastly different than, okay, well, we took away some of your tools because the game's health was at risk, but you can still have other ones because that's an okay interaction. Like that's along the levels that we want to balance the game at. I'm fine with that. We can create other off-meta counters. People are saying like, ooh, if you have a galactic legend advantage, then you're just screwed. And it does hurt, for sure. It does hurt. There's no denying that, but you can double tap them still. Like, that's still absolutely going to be an option, and they haven't taken away all of our off-meta counters. Like, Cat and probably the Robot Legs Maul both are going to be going in and wrecking people with off-meta counters. I'm fairly confident of that, and so we'll see how it goes. I just think so. It's easy, right? Like, some people are going to choose to be angry and not, like, they're going to be unreasonable. No, I quit. I hate this game now. They haven't done anything yet. Maybe we just wait. If you spend all this time and effort and resources on this game, like, maybe just see how it goes rather than just freaking out and deciding to hate the game. We'll figure it out, guys. We will figure it out. One thing I want to point out here for changes. So Sith Eternal now is going to be gaining turn meter whenever an enemy gains a buff. So we can't use troopers against this team. Not gonna work. A buff that can't be dispelled. So troopers gain the locked buff from Piet that makes them gain all the turn meter and stuff. And the Sith allies will gain faster turn meter and just destroy your troopers. So troopers won't work on Sith Eternal anymore. They probably still do work on Jedi Master Luke, though. I thought this was funny. I said in one of my videos recently that Rey doesn't scale well, and they changed how she scales. She's going to be stronger now. If you do the math, I'm not going to do it for you right now, but it's like her Whirlwind is about the same strength at Relic 7, and then at Relic 9, she'll be significantly stronger. So she'll start scaling better, at least with one of her abilities. So that's nice. Seems like CG is just watching my videos, actually. They're like, oh, that's a good point, Xaereth. We'll fix that. or oh, yeah, that Xaereth makes a good point. We'll release Maul and Lord Vader as, a Galactic Legend and Conquest release. Whatever the word is. I know words, guys. I'm pro words, okay? I know it's established I'm pro math. I'm also pro words. anyways, it's gonna take a while to digest all this stuff, like Sith Eternal Emperor versus Rey, Sith Eternal Emperor plus Watt versus Rey is also not gonna work as well, just because of its different interactions. We have no idea how that's gonna go. Now, the thing I want to go back real quick to my point about CG. It hasn't changed anything yet. I know that I'm kind of bouncing all over the place, but we're just doing this in one take. So, here's the thing, guys. CG actually has a great history of listening to players. Well, last time do you remember the Rancor raid, the Challenge Rancor raid? And it was kind of miserable when it was first released. Everyone was like, guys, this sucks. We don't want to have to do it this way. Like, the guild has to coordinate, and like, it wasn't fun. It wasn't cool. Some people liked it, I realize, but the overwhelming majority of the community was just like, can we just have a raid where we can just go in and hit it just the way we have in the past? And CG listened. They changed it, then it got better. And, I mean, people say they don't listen. They absolutely do, and it's in their best interest to listen to us some. Sometimes it's like the community has bad ideas and we should feel bad. And so they shouldn't listen to us. But, they're the ones with the analytics, the advanced stuff that, they've been making a lot of money on this game, and people have been pretty happy with it lately. So I think we should trust them a little bit. Give them the benefit of the doubt. Listen to what they say. And this is a good example, guys. So they haven't changed anything yet, but... so Crumb got on here. I'm not showing him. Yeah, so this is Crumb. He got on after all of this, and he said, it says, how do you expect to change the GAC matchmaking as someone with 2 GLs won't have any changes, I think this is chances against someone with 3 GLs. And so this was an area of specific concern over, or an area that they had concerns over, and they'll be monitoring how this affects matchups in Grand Arena, etc. You guys can read it yourselves. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but so they've read through every comment in this thread and many others. They've taken constructive feedback to the team. They understand that it feels frustrating, etc. Like, that's what they can do right now. If they want to have a healthy game, they need to do stuff that is going to be unpopular sometimes, things that are uncomfortable. And I guess what I'm taking away from this is there are certain things they see as long-term bad for the game, and being able to design certain characters, because it's like, oh, well, we can't do that because Thrawn just shuts it down. Oh, well, what about this? Oh, no, we can't do that because Vader will just kill you immediately for it. Like, they have to have some space to develop new stuff, guys. If it's a 5-year game, they have to have space to design new things. So, that being said, the final thing I want to talk about is Relic 9, and that's the thing that, for me, after I've thought about it for a while, the thing that hurts the most is Relic 9. Relic 8 is already, I've spent a lot of money on this game lately, like buying like Relic 8 materials, because I can't hit the raid. I don't have time for my schedule and everything. I can't. But if I want to keep up and actually have compelling matchups, I need to have some Relic 8s, and so I've been buying them. Relic 9, I'm like out of Relic materials, and they don't give us more gear. They have, like, Conquest, I was like, oh, sweet, we're going to get a bunch more. Like, it's not even enough to, like, get out of a gear level for one character. Like, it's not good gear we're getting from Conquest. And now we're going to get Relic 9. I think that's the thing that kills me the most. Like, I've only gotten a few people to Relic 8. Like, I have 12, and that's a lot for a lot of people. And we're already required. We have 3 more characters we have to get Relic 8 minimum. Maybe not, or maybe 4 if you haven't already put Relic 8 on General Skywalker. Like, it's a lot. And Relic 9 is just going to be more expensive. It's going to be piled on top of it. That one is a very tough pill to swallow. And they're like, well, we'll let you know how you can get it and later. And I'm like, I don't really want to know. It just makes me sick. So we'll find out. That being said, come hang out. Check us out, guys. Join the conversation on our Discord server. It's in the video description. Join the live stream in a couple days on the Gambit podcast. We're going to be shooting it live, like I said. If you miss it, then it'll be out on Spotify, iTunes, etc. Everything as soon as we can make it done. So we're going to have Crumb on with us. It's going to be a good time. I think that they're going to have some good answers for us. And we're not going to shy away. Like, we're not just going to pander to them. We are absolutely going to be asking some tough questions. So, that being said, folks, I think I'm going to call it good. What are your thoughts on all of this? Please keep the anger to, I don't know, you be angry, but let's not be too awful to each other. All right, guys. I love you. Thank you all so much for watching. And remember that in all things, Xaereth prevails.